One thing is glaringly obvious when you hop onto Black Ops Cold War. Ranking up weapons on there is insanely slow, especially compared to Modern Warfare and, well, any past CODs for that matter. With the first season of Cold War finally here, and the integration with Warzone coming out today, what better time is it to go over the very best ways to rank up your weapons quickly on Warzone? You're going to want to try out the 30 plus new weapons added to Warzone, and if you haven't got Cold War, they're all gonna feel pretty useless at level 1. So let's get them ranked up quickly so you can get them ready for some slaying. Just a disclaimer for those that have seen my previous video on ranking up weapons just using Warzone, I will be going over some of the same techniques as they are still useful, but there will be some new ones in the mix too, so stick around. Okay, so the main thing you want to be doing to rank up weapons quickly is to maximize the amount of time you're engaging with enemies with your desired weapon. It sounds simple, right? But there are routes to do this which are much quicker than others. For example, the new map Rebirth Island is small and has plenty of close quarters fights. If you can get your desired weapon on this map, then you're going to be going through weapon ranks very quickly. Generally though, on Warzone, the best approach is plunder. You spawn in with your loadout rather than buying a loadout drop. You also respawn, meaning you can maximize the amount of time you're actually in the action with your weapon that you want to rank up. A great tip before you even drop into the main plunder game though, is to get kills with your weapon of choice in the pre-game lobby. To ensure that you fly down with your loadout of choice in the pre-game lobby, have that loadout selected as your favourite, which then makes your character hold it when you're just, say, in the menus. Most people in the pre-game lobby are just quite rightly relaxing, maybe scrolling through their phone, checking where their Amazon parcel is, or perhaps pondering life itself with a cup of tea. Whatever they're doing, latch onto them with your weapon and light them up. So in the plunder match itself, you of course get weapon XP for each kill and down that you do get. A nice sneaky way of getting XP for your weapon of choice though is to down the enemy with a weapon you already have at the max level and its max capabilities, then switch to the youngling weapon and finish them off with that. You'll get a bunch of XP for it without having to do much. Another tip for getting more XP with your weapon in any game mode, by the way, is to get headshots if you can. Obviously that isn't always possible, but when it is, pop them in the head and see your weapon ranks fly up. A much easier route to leveling up your weapons is to complete contracts. Now if you are going to spam contracts and you're not with a squad, I advise to not fill and just go into lobbies on your own, otherwise the random players can mess up the system that you're trying to do. So which contract is best for weapon XP? Most wanted contracts in Battle Royale offer the same as bounties in terms of XP, but there's no most wanted contracts within plunder. So the best option then is bounty contracts. The bounty contract offers us 750 XP per bounty completion, but is obviously much more difficult to complete compared to other contracts. And since you can only do one contract at a time, it can really put a cap on the amount of total weapon XP you can get per game if you don't complete them quickly enough. So what other options do we have? Well, we have the Scavenger Contract. These give out 500 weapon XP per completion, so is a little less than the bounty contract. They do, however, give you 3 guaranteed loot boxes, with rare loot guaranteed in the 3rd and final box, meaning they can propel you up in terms of cash very quickly. So if you actually wanted to have a crack at winning the game of plunder whilst ranking up your weapons, this is a great route to do just that. The negative side is that these contracts will be pretty highly contested for those reasons I just outlined. Next up we have Recon Contracts. These will be less contested than Scavenger Contracts, that's for sure, as the cash payout is less, especially without 3 guaranteed loot boxes. On top of that, we don't get the best part of Recon Contracts in plunder, which is having the ability to see ahead to the next location of the circle. The good news is that we get 500 weapon XP for completing them and can pick them up without much hassle from enemies. It's again less than the bounty contract XP, but just way easier to complete. Even if you die trying to complete it, it'll still be active for you to drop down on again and try and complete it. Finally, we have supply run contracts, which are again for 500 weapon XP. These are really easy to do. You just hop in a vehicle, throw a trophy system on it to not get nailed by RPGs, and just chain the contracts back to back. You do get a discount at the shop, but the important bit for us is the easy XP. You don't even have to stop and interact with the shop, you can just drive close to it and seek out the next contract if you wish. They may feel like they're taking a long time to complete due to the distances that you actually have to travel, but remember, you complete them instantly upon arriving at the shop, whereas the recons, for example, you have to wait around and load up the bar once you get there, so they probably take up about the same amount of time. A nice boost to all contract XP is in the overtime part of plunder games, where all XP is boosted by 50%. So if you do a supply run during this period, you'll get 750 XP instead of 500 XP for example, and this is applicable for your rank XP and weapon XP. If you're sick of playing plunder, there's always limited time game modes which can help you rank up your weapons. Ideally you want game modes which allow you to spawn in with your loadout, so modes like Warzone Rumble are perfect for this. Warzone Rumble is essentially team deathmatch on a massive map. Whichever technique you try, don't forget the 2x weapon XP boosts. I often save things like this just for too long and end up not using them, but honestly just get them on sooner rather than later. Just remember though that the time on them goes down in the menus and pre-game lobby, so they're not purely in-game minutes. Once you apply that token, you want to get in the actual game lobby as quickly as possible. Well, that's everything from me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give the video a like. It really does help the channel to grow. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? I've got loads of Call of Duty content and plenty more to come. I even have memberships now that give you access to exclusive perks. Anyway, bye for now.